ago. So most of us have been in a situation where we have tried to achieve a goal, but mostly have ended up with really mediocre results or did not achieve the results we had expected. Or we have seen other people achieving their goals effortlessly, and we have been wondering, how did that happen? So we really believe that this is where skill development comes in. So what really is skill development? It is the process of identifying your skill gaps and developing and honing those skills. It is important because your skills determine your ability to execute your plans with success. In goal achievement, your skills are your tools. Just as you need the right tools to build a house, you need the right skills to build your goal. Skill development is where we turn from a beginner to a novice to an intermediate to senior and to an expert. And henceforth, we have the ability to conquer our goal. But unfortunately, today unemployment is a major concern. Many might blame macroeconomic policies for unemployment, but again, one major aspect that is missing from these larger discourses and conversations is the gap between academia and the job market or the skill market. While the academia says that there are not enough jobs for their graduates, the job market says there are not enough qualified people for them to hire. In short, there seems to be a disconnect between what universities teach and the skills needed in the market, leaving several university graduates unemployed and dissatisfied. So, the question really is that what can be done to bridge this gap? Is a university degree enough for one to land at a good job, or is there more to it? What is it that an employer is looking for? Is there a need for an institutional and cultural change to make sure that we have enough qualified people for good jobs? To get all these answers, or at least in a hope to start a conversation around these discussions, we have with us with our very, very esteemed guest today, Sajid Aslam. Mr. Sajid Aslam is currently serving as the country head for ACCA Pakistan. He served as the Chief Finance and Business Development Officer at Learning Dimension Private Limited, which is a management consulting, technology, and education company working in the field of advisory, innovation, and the development sector. He was also the board member of various platforms related to telecommunication, food, education, consulting, investment banking since 2005 in Pakistan, Uganda, and the UK. Additionally, he has also served as Chief Financial Officer and Chief Business Development Officer at Bateen Telecom and has a work experience of around 7 years in Nestle, Pakistan. And what is ACCA is all about, and what are the services they're providing in Pakistan? Please, over to you, sir.
Thank you, Alima. ACCA is a professional accounting body, and it's working for 115 years as we speak now. And interestingly, ACCA started by challenging the status quo, like the situation which we are going through now is a similar situation back in 1904 when there are 8 people who gathered and they decided that the current structure around the professional accounting or the business education is not fit for purpose. And when they said not fit for purpose, that's when it was not inclusive. The women were not allowed to participate in there. The people who do not have enough resources, they could not access at that time the professional accounting, which is at that time and still is a very, very esteemed profession. And the core purpose is to uphold the public trust and make sure the society जो है उसपे proper आपके पास जो information flow है, financial information flow is available and accessible and timely available for decision making. So that's a core role of the professional accounting when we talk about as one of our education stream. So in 1904, there were 8 people who decided that it has to be a very inclusive way to educate people. There has to be a standardized training, whether somebody is being trained in UK or Pakistan, they should go through the same rigor, same skill set, same training, and the same outcome, more or less. So that's what the core concept where ACCA started. And in 115 years now, the ACCA started as a small, we always call it, it started as a small movement in UK, is now present almost in 180 countries with 750,000 students and members who are actively pursuing their career. And it's one of the largest network of professional accountants across the globe. So if Pakistan se bhi bahar jata hai, they go to UK, Middle East, Africa, US, or Australia, any country, they figure out that there is a certain network which is available and they can just join that network and that will support them for their career progression. So ACCA, for all practical purposes, is the education institute which provide a professional education rather than academic education. और ACCA के केस में जब हम professional education की बात करते हैं तो that is based on the not only the exams but there are additional requirements which a person has to fulfill before they become qualified. So there are 13 exams they have to complete, and it's the same exam. Somebody sitting in UK, Australia, and Pakistan, they have to go through the same exam. And then there's an ethics and professional skills module. It's a 20-hour content which covers around commercial acumen, personal effectiveness, leadership skills, also includes some of the technology side, data analytics, as well as communication skills. And then there's a third part which comes as a training, we call it. It's a mandatory 36-month supervised training. And once they complete the exams, EPSM, ethics and professional skills module, and the training, then they become a qualified member of ACCA. And then throughout the life, it's a membership body, throughout the life of that member, the accounting body is there to support in terms of their further skills or further continuous professional development, what we call. So in today's language, if we look from a university side, so we are talking about upskilling and the reskilling side of it, which ACCA continuously do. And there's a mandatory 40 hours training, which they have to go through to stay relevant and active with the professional accounting body. So that's a brief introduction for ACCA. In Pakistan, ACCA is operating for last 20 years now, and it has got over 40,000 students and members who are operating in Pakistan.
Okay, so from what you're telling us, we get a sense that ACCA qualification is very different from our conventional university qualification, right? It is very much dependent on like skills, and it really inculcates this idea of like developing skills in young people, so they match up to the requirements of the industry, so to say. But besides that, what do you think are the type of skills that are in demand in Pakistan and globally, and what are essentially the skills a 21st century job seeker should work towards?
I think that's a very interesting dimension, and it's not a subject matter expertise. So even if we are talking about somebody studying the professional accounting or ACCA or doing a degree program or working as a medical professional or engineering professional, there are certain fundamental skills which are very much required. And that's when we talk about those skills, those are more to do with the mindset which they reflect. And that's where we have to start. The first thing which is very much in demand is the creativity itself. Regardless which field you are working in, you have to be creative enough to use your existing knowledge and solve the problems which you never faced before. So that's the first thing. The second thing is more to do with the attitude, which is a problem solving. So you can't carry a problem and keep doing your research. You have to be very agile. You have to get out, you have to handle the problem, and you have to focus on solving that problem. You may fail a couple of times, but end of the day, you will be able to solve it. So that's a second part, which is the problem solving as an attitude. So you have to be creative enough to really rely on your existing knowledge to solve some new problems. And then you have to have an attitude of solving a problem. And the third area is the emotional intelligence. And I think that's the third most important thing, which covers in the communication, leadership style, handling people, everything. So emotional intelligence is a third most in demand skill set, or a mindset, we would say, which is required for current, even at an entry level, you can really understand the culture of the organization and the people around you. So these are the three areas which are, regardless of the profession you are working, are the most important. Now comes to the professional side. So definitely ethics is the topmost thing. Whatever you are trying to do, if you are engineer, medical professional, accountant, lawyers, whatever the code of ethics you have to follow, you are bound to follow that. In Pakistan, बहुत दफा हम कहते हैं कि अच्छा मैं तो ethics follow कर रहा हूँ और बाकी लोग नहीं follow कर रहे हैं, and they are getting a benefit. Believe me, in a 3 to 5 year, they pay a very high price not to follow it. And the people who are consistently following those ethical standards, whatever profession they are representing, they get a very good price around it. So they get a very good incentive around it. So it's just a matter of time where your consistency is going to pay you. So you have to hold those ethics and the standard upfront and in whatever you do. And then we come to the very, very specific subject matter expertise now. So there's ethics for code of ethics for every profession you are working, and then it's come to the core professional skills. Now, let's say if you are an accountant, I would say, so you have to know your subject the best, because that's what the people are going to hire you. So you can't be average. You have to be way above the average if you really want to excel in your career. And then either in university education or in a professional education, you always get a lot of opportunities to really sharp your skill, go beyond the call of duty, what we say. So अगर आपके 4 चैप्टर आपने देख रहे हैं, आप जिसके लिए आपने एग्जामिन होना है, so you have to go beyond those 4. You have to really understand the fundamentals and the philosophy behind it to really grasp those concepts in a way that you can pass exams, but more importantly, you can demonstrate those skills in your everyday life. That's why ACCA की जब हम बात करते हैं तो उसमें वो जो 36 months हैं, वहाँ पे there is a 22 different competencies, जिनमें से 9 competencies हैं. And when we talk about the competencies, we talk about a mindset, skill set, and the tool set which they have to deploy. To demonstrate those competencies consistently under a certain supervision. और उस competencies में जब हम बात करते हैं या skill set में हम बात करते हैं, जो fundamental skill sets आते हैं, वो 5 essentials होते हैं. For example, stakeholder management, जो अभी मैंने बात की, आपकी EQ की या emotional intelligence की. Stakeholder management require a certain technical skill, but it takes a lot of emotional intelligence to manage them. Communication skills, आपके leadership skills. So these are the things which are fundamental once it's come to the competencies development. So ACCA की पूरी जो environment होती है वो certain competency framework में बनी होती है. So अगर आप एक exam की बात करें, and I'll come back कि competency framework आता कहाँ से. So अगर आप एक exam की बात कर रहे हैं तो exam एक certain competency को evaluate करता है, assess करता है एक exam environment के तहत. EPSM की जब हम बात करते हैं ethics and professional skills module की, again उसमें वो जो competencies हैं वो एक certain isolated environment में assess होती है. और जब हम 36 months की ट्रेनिंग की बात करते हैं तो वही कॉम्पिटेंसीज वहां पे एक सुपरवाइज्ड एनवायरनमेंट में असेस हो रही होती है और इवैल्यूएट हो रही होती है, और कायदा एक असेसमेंट होती है जो सुपरवाइजर प्रोवाइड करता है. ये जो अभी आपने शुरू में बात की थी इंडस्ट्री और एकेडमिया का एक लिंकेज या गैप की जो बात की थी, ACCA के केस में ये कॉम्पिटेंसीज क्लियरली इंडस्ट्री के इनपुट से डेवलप होती है. और वो कॉम्पिटेंसीज जब हम लोग डेवलप कर रहे होते हैं कोर्सवेयर में, तो उसमें हम आज की बात नहीं कर रहे होते. We normally talk about 15-20 years from now, because anybody who's going to subscribe to this qualification, they will become an active member of society or profession in the next 5 to 7 years. जहाँ पे वो एक certain early stage से middle management से senior management की cycle पे चल रहे होते. So we have to create those competencies that way. So going back to very fundamental and early stage question जो आपने पूछा था कि 21st century में सबसे important चीजें क्या हैं, तो I'll just summarize it. Creativity, whatever profession you are in, you should be able to use your existing knowledge to solve new problems, right? And then problem solving as an attitude, when you see a problem, you jump on it, regardless of the couple of failures, you should pursue that and you have to solve it, or you should ask for help as well. And the third is your emotional intelligence. So these are the key neutral skills which you have to follow. ये हर एक की requirement. इसके बाद हम आ जाते हैं ethics पे. whatever profession you are representing, उसका code of ethics जो है you have to comply. And the 5th item is whatever profession you are in, you have to be the best in that. आपका knowledge base, आपकी research capability, it should go beyond the scope and the जो जिसको हम call of duty कहते हैं, and you should know that thoroughly. So these are the 5 things I would suggest जब आप develop कर रहे हैं अपने आप को, तो keep these things in mind. जिसमें से 4 अगर आप देखेंगे तो उसका प्रोफेशन से कोई ताल्लुक नहीं होता, except code of ethics may be a little vary from profession to profession. And the 5th is your core skill जो कि आपने acquire किया होता है. बहुत दफा हमारे स्टूडेंट्स उस 5th आइटम पे तो जरूर फोकस करते हैं, लेकिन पहली 4 जो सबसे ज्यादा हाई डिमांड होती है, जो आपके कैरियर ग्रोथ के लिए जरूरी है, वहां पे समटाइम हम मिस आउट कर जाते हैं.